Hello, welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. Well, Prop 47 was intended to help get rid of jail overcrowding by releasing nonviolent offenders in hopes that they get treatment. Well, as with so many things, there are unintended consequences. Some say that crime rates have gone up. Amongst other things, with us now is Assemblyman Marc Steinorth, and he has some ideas about maybe some changes that should happen to make it more efficient. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. And I appreciate this discussion. You know, Prop 47, we voted on it as a body. You know, it was a proposition, and it passed. It passed very well in California. But as you stated, there's been some unintended consequences, and some of which have become very challenging for the communities that we represent, and especially for our law enforcement to be able to keep law and order. For example, I do believe that we need to make a theft of a firearm, regardless of the value of the firearm, still a felony. Currently, the way it's structured is if the firearm is $950 or less, it is no longer a felony. That should still be a felony. AB 2369 that I've co-authored with Jim Patterson, Assemblymember Patterson, would really restore back to felony status some of the Prop 47 what are now misdemeanors if they're committed 3 times within a 12-month period. And I'll give you an example. I recently went on a ride-along in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, where I reside, and we find that criminals are very, very smart. They know that if they steal $925 worth of products, they'll get a ticket. And that's really what it comes down to, is a ticket. They get a citation, and it can be rolled into a stack of additional citations that they'll receive, and they go off and they try and commit the same crime again. And it's become very challenging. It's a bit of whack-a-mole for our law enforcement, for them to be able to really try and be motivated to stop these criminals.
So your bill, you would like to see that 3 misdemeanor offenses, what would have been in the earlier years felonies, things that have been reduced to misdemeanors,
correct,
would again become felonies after you commit 3 of these.
That's correct. And because what we're finding is these very intelligent criminals that have understood where they've found that loophole in the Prop 47 from the felonies that have now been reduced to misdemeanors, they're committing those what used to be felonies over and over and over again. And these are crimes that are property theft crimes. These are crimes, as I mentioned before, about theft of a firearm. They know that they can steal cars that are less than $950, and it is no longer a felony. It is a misdemeanor.
Does this address the second part of Prop 47, which was that these people would be released earlier because they were going to get treatment and things would be better for them and they wouldn't end up committing more crimes? Well,
the challenge is we have not seen that happen. We have not seen that the crime rate has gone down, and the opposite, we've seen the crime rate go up. And we have a rash of new types of crimes that are occurring, and trying to really put really bring it in what the public understood it to be. The public did not want people to just understand that they could go ahead and commit crimes over and over and over again without ramifications from it. So just being able to say, I'm sorry, you can only do up to 3 of those, seems like it's a reasonable fix to try and at least bring Prop 47 under control.
It's always a push-pull sort of thing, trying to find the right solution on this. Are you finding any opposition to this proposal?
Well, it is a new proposal, so I don't know what the opposition is yet, but I do know in the last year legislative cycle, there were several Prop 47 fixes that were all eliminated before they met their first policy committee. So there is resistance. We'll see what resistance we encounter with this bill. I'm hopeful that the public will get motivated and reach out to their assembly members and their senators and make it clear that they really want to make sure that they live in a safe community.
Okay. Assemblyman Marc Steinorth, thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me
today. And glad you could join us. I'm Leslie Leyton.